Hi, everybody. Jennifer from Gals, Ghosts and Ladies here. We're doing something a little bit different. Usually I live stream on Saturdays, but tonight is Friday night free for all. Q&A with gals, ask anything, anything goes. Um, so I'm really, really excited to bring you tonight's show. Hi, Kat. Welcome. And saying welcome leads me to saying welcome. Welcome, everybody who's watching on Facebook and YouTube. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who's watching live now and everyone who watches at a later date. And shameless promotion. Let's see, I gotta find it. But I do want to say if you can head over to actually YouTube and like and subscribe, that really does help me get noticed. Thank you. I have some limitations because I only have X amount of followers on YouTube. I'm limited to sending out 50 invitations for these live streams. So I do appreciate any help you can give me for that. And please keep in mind that none of my videos are monetized and I'm not asking for money from anybody. I'm just asking for likes and subscribes and maybe a share and a positive comment. Thank you very much. Oh, hi, Joy. Well, welcome. I know you've got that other thing going on, but I'm glad you stopped in. Lisa, I'm glad you're here. And Elaine, nice to see you too. So, gee, you guys, I'm doing something a little bit different tonight, and I'll tell you all about that in a second. Gonna do my little housekeeping thing. Gotta say my thank yous and my shout outs. I am not in Lizzie Lou studio. I am. Oh, hi Nathan. I am. I am. I am deep in the foothills. Hi, Mark. Mark Ramponi knows where I am. I am deep in the foothills of the Berkshires. I'm in Litchfield County tonight. I am not at home in Boston. I'm visiting dear old mom, and I have plans with friends tomorrow night. So I'm actually live streaming from my bedroom in mom's house. Like I said, in the deep in the foothills of the Berkshires, here in Connecticut. So I do ask you all to get cozy, pour yourself a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, crack a cold beer. I'm drinking my favorite kind of Gatorade peach mango beverage. But yeah, and I want to remind folks this is a 420 friendly space. Smoke them if you got them, because I know I sure did. Oh, and Kathy's on Facebook. Kat's on Facebook. Hi, Laurie. Welcome. And hi, Carrie. I want to welcome y'all to my bedroom. Uh, Anybody from Boston remember Charles Laquadera from WZLX back in, good Lord, back in the 1980s? He was the morning guy on the Boston Rock and Roll station. Charles Laquadera, his morning show, he used to say it was live from the Big Mattress. Well, that's where I am today. I am live from the Big Mattress because I'm looking 6 inches to my left and there's my bed. So live from the Big Mattress. And hi, Sandy. Nice to see you as always. And like Charles Laquadera, we're going to do some Michigas tonight. I hope I'm not misusing that phrase. Hi, Aaron. Welcome. But we're going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I kind of put it out there for some people to send me their questions about gals, ghosts, and ladies, and about me, Jennifer Payne. And boy, did you guys step up to the plate. I got some really, really good questions. And I am going to do my best to answer them all. I also uploaded some clips, so I'm going to be able to share some photos and some experiences with you, and I'm really, really excited to do that, share some of my experiences and pictures with you. Some of you asked duplicate questions, so I'm not going to be able to like say, all right, this list is from Mary Ellen, these 5 questions. I will acknowledge everybody who did send me questions, and some of the questions are going to be answered in several parts. Like I have like question 3 part 1, question 3 part 2, question 3 part 3, all from different people. So I'm going to do my best to tie some stuff in. And you know me, I've got my notes. I packed a ton of shit here to come to mom's to do this. I do have my laptop, got my StreamYard, got my microphone. I hope I sound okay. I brought lighting with me. And like I said, I brought my paper and all the things that make me happy, including my cup. So it was a lot of stuff to carry with me, a little portable studio, and mom was very accommodating. I'm sitting in her office chair in my bedroom. So that's where I am tonight, and that's kind of what we're going to do. So again, back to kind of that housekeeping part. Thank you, Elaine, for letting me know. I want everybody to get comfortable, and I have to give my shout outs. As always, thank you to Ladybug Pest Control, my day job, because as you all know, live streaming is a hobby. And if you are going to indulge your hobby, you've got to have a day job that you like and that suits your needs and has a good schedule. So I always got to give a shout out to my day job. Thank you very much. And again, shout out to Michelle, my cousin. Even though I'm not in Lizzie Lou studio, I do live stream because of Michelle. So thank you very, very much. I also think it's kind of cool that I'm here visiting my mom, and I had decided to do kind of a gals Q&A, and I've had some really cool things happen to me here in this house. I don't want to say this house is haunted, and I sleep here, and I really don't have a lot of experiences. I think some of the things I've experienced were residual or maybe a sign, that kind of thing. And I'm going to tell you about them before I answer some of these questions. So let's see. So it's basically kind of a potpourri of all things gals, some experiences, some things about myself, answering questions about you guys. So I am going to start telling you about living in this house. My mother bought this house in 1982. So it was after I graduated high school. But in this house, there have been over 20 cats and 6 dogs. So there've been a lot of pets in this house. Every single one of them very, very beloved. Every single one of them with a unique and quirky personality. And every single one of them, me and my mother could sit at the kitchen table, and if we spent half an hour, we could name all 20 of them. Because they're also very memorable. And again, the 6 dogs too. So one of the things that certainly happened here for me, one of the dogs that lived here was a dog named Bear, and he was, every dog is the best dog ever, but Bear was just one of those. I've had a lot of dogs. Bear was just one of those, once in a lifetime dogs, and Bear passed away, and you could still hear his tag jingle in this house, and I swear you can still hear it now. And Bear's been gone for, I don't know, 20 years. And we sobbed and sobbed when he left us. Oh my God. But I swear he's still in this house. And again, 20 cats, that's going to leave some kind of residual behind. Because cats we had some really quirky cats. And the dogs too. But also in this house, I lived here. I had a baby in 1989 in Florida, and I left Florida after my baby was born, and I moved here with my mom and my stepdad. And my son was born in April of 1989, and shortly after we moved in here in August of 89, my stepdad, Steve Galliette, who was the best stepfather any girl could ever ask for. Hello, Michelle. Talking about Steve right now. Really, the best stepfather any girl could ever ask for. I don't know how I got so lucky to have Steve in my life, and he was the best grandfather any baby could ever ask for. Anyways, Steve got very sick, and before Steve got sick, so Christmas of 1989, I remember this. He gave my mother a gold bracelet. It was just a very plain, like you would just like a plain gold chain, but on a bracelet. And it was beautiful, and I'm sure it was worth a pretty penny. And Steve spared no expense, but 2, he also had really, really good taste. So if he bought mom a bracelet, it was really beautiful. So anyways, that was Christmas of 1989, and mom promptly lost the bracelet. Michelle, you know where we live. Our house is at the top of the hill. The driveway is at the bottom of the hill. Somewhere between the top of the hill and the bottom of the hill, my mother lost that bracelet the second time she wore it. Still in December, probably New Year's Eve of that year, she lost it. Never to be seen again, right? Well, shortly after that, Steve got sick. And he gets sick in February, and he got worse and worse. And Steve passed away in June of 1990. And my mother and I were going down the hill from this high up house, going down the hill to the limousine, which was picking us up to take us to the funeral home. to bury my stepfather. And we looked down and there was the bracelet. And we had probably gone up and down there, any one of us, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and never saw that bracelet. And the day we found it was the day we were going to bury my stepfather. And we cried because it was a sign. Don't tell me it wasn't. It was absolutely a sign. So that's the house that I'm living in now. I feel like that, I mean, and like, I don't feel like I don't have like any experiences with Steve in this house now. And I mean, he's been gone since 1990. But again, I definitely feel the pets still in this house and maybe residual energy because they just left such an imprint in this house. And we loved them all. I got to shut the window. Hold on. Be right back. My mom smokes cigarettes and, well, it's thanks. I can't believe I'm saying that, right? Anyways, all right. So that's where I am tonight. And so I really think it was kind of cool that I was going to answer some of these questions for folks. And yeah, Sue, definitely a sign, no doubt about it. And the other thing, and oh yeah, and I'm going to talk about Aunt Ruthie's picture. That is going to make a show tonight for sure. But you got to know your signs when you see them, like Scott Allen always says. Definitely a sign because again, hundreds of times people all of us and Sue, if you, I'll have to show you a picture sometime. The house is way up at the top of the hill, and you walk down this really kind of narrow and rickety granite walkway down a hill that's grassy and mossy, and I don't know, it's just crazy, and flowers growing everywhere. And so to find this bracelet was really cool. So, all right. So before we begin, I do want to give a special thanks to everybody who sent in questions. So I do want to thank my good friend Christine Pizzelli. Sandy, yes, I'm in. No, I'm not in Bristol tonight. I'm actually in Harwinton tonight. I was going to go to Bristol to visit my aunt, but I was driving in really crappy weather. So instead of going to my aunt's, I came right to my mother's, and I'll have to visit my auntie Mary and Amanda tomorrow. So I'm probably about, I don't know, 12 miles from Bristol right now. That's where I am. And I did grow up in Bristol, Connecticut. So yeah, so I want to give a special thanks to my friend Christine Pizzelli. She is OG Gals. My friend Lisa Aubie, another OG Gals, original gangsta gals, original gals. I want to thank Sue and Nathan, who sent in some really, really thoughtful questions, and I'm really excited to answer them. I want to thank Kelly. She sent in some great questions. Kelly is also a gal. Joy, your questions were awesome. My friend Joan Sear, she sent in some really good questions, and Aunt Mary and Amanda sent in some really good questions. And last but not least, I have to acknowledge my bestest friend in the world outside of my cousin Michelle, but that my best friend that's not blood relation, but might as well be, my friend Lynn Moore. And I asked her to send me her questions because Lynn is a real skeptic, and she kind of teases me about doing this, but in a good humored way. Take it easy, Joy. We'll chat with you later. But Lynn, I always, she's a skeptic, so I wanted Lynn to ask me some questions as well. So I asked her what her questions were, and this is kind of how the conversation went. You know I'm a skeptic, Jennifer. And that's why I'm asking you, because you're a skeptic and I want to hear from a skeptic. So one of the questions that she sent me is, what makes you believe in the paranormal? And I sent her a clip of some totally insane light anomalies, which that clip will make an appearance tonight as well. Totally insane light anomalies. And Lynn, my skeptic best friend, sends back, oh, orbs? Well, I believe in orbs, and I believe in cardinals, and I believe that my dead relatives can visit me in my sleep. I'm like, Lynn, you're the skeptic. You're the skeptic, but you believe all these things. Okay. And I'm crazy for believing in ghosts. Don't get me wrong. I believe a cardinal is a loved one visiting me too. But, there's no difference in that than believing in a loved one visiting you in another way. So anyways, I just thought that that was funny that even the skeptic, excuse me, adjusting my chair, not at home tonight, trying to get comfortable, but even a skeptic believes in something. And I thought that was cool, and that just made my heart feel good. So yeah, so I just had to acknowledge my bestest friend in the whole world, Linny. Um, so again, some questions are duplicates, some multiple parts, some combined. I apologize if I didn't get to everyone's questions, but I absolutely acknowledged everybody who sent questions and your questions. If your name appears here, your questions or comments to me are going to appear in some form or other in tonight's questionnaire, even if I don't get to say who asked which questions. So, and again, you know me, I do have lots of notes. Oops. So anyways, that was page 1, and that is my introduction. So I hope that everybody is comfortable. Now, let's see, what do I have? Question 1, part 1. Christine, this is from my good friend Christine Pizzelli, who again, OG. Christine says, when did I know I wanted to become a paranormal investigator? I'd like to answer that with a clip. This is when I knew that I wanted to be a paranormal investigator. Not just so let me kind of give you the backstory. So I love the paranormal, and I'm going to tell you a little more tonight about how I got interested and involved in the paranormal. But Adam Berry had an event at the Emory Estate in April of 2024. And I went because I really wanted to go, and I thought it was really exciting. And I thought it was actually going to more or less be a novelty thing, but it was actually very exciting. And this was the moment I decided I wanted to be a paranormal investigator. Let's see. All right, let's see if I can play it.
Okay. Jennifer's coming in.
Morning.
Did it say morning or come in?
I think it said come on in.
Come on. What's it do?
Wait for it. There's one. And there's the other. So the reason why I say that's the moment I wanted to become a paranormal investigator was because Christine, who was on the other side of the camera, I muted it because I slowed it down. But Christine is on the other side of the camera going, Jennifer, I can see those orbs. They're dancing around your head. And it was like in that closet at that moment. It's like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do this a lot, and I want to take it seriously. So that's the moment that I knew I wanted to be an investigator, not just go to a novelty celebrity event, which was a blast. And I had so much fun and learned so much. And Christine and I had some mind-blowing experiences there. Mind-blowing. I could go on and on about the Emory Estate, but I do want to get to other questions. But that answers that question. It was that moment in that closet. It's like I got the fever. I got the fever. So I thought that was really exciting. Now let me see if I can go to question 1, part 2. What do I have for question 1, part 2? Linny, what made me interested? What made me interested in paranormal? So you see, the moment I wanted to be an investigator, but what made me interested? Yeah, you were, Nathan. Yeah, you were. I didn't know you guys then. But I wanted to be. What interested me. Sorry, I stammered there. A Ghost Adventures girl from way back, with no big camera crews following us around. And anybody who knows me knows I've always been a video geek and a camera geek and that kind of thing. And so it was just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a marriage made in heaven. It made me interested. I wanted to capture this on video. And I wanted to believe. I wanted to believe. I'm sure that not everything I see on TV is real, and you have to know when there's entertainment factor, but I wanted to believe. And I had some experiences myself that had me open-minded. And I just heard something in here, don't know what that was. Now, why do well, let me see. Where do I want to go? I'm going to kind of bounce around a little bit. One of two. What do I got? Where's number 2? Another one from Christine. If I could investigate with any celebrity, who and why? So I got to go back to, I'm sorry, I got to say it, Zach Baggins and the original Ghost Adventures crew, although I'd go with the Ghost Adventures crew now. And also Taps, Ghost Hunters. Again, really the originals. I love Sam and Colby and all of them. But again, you kind of got to know where the entertainment factor is. And again, I know there's an entertainment factor with Ghost Adventures and Taps as well. But I would like to investigate with them. And if I could investigate with a famous psychic, there's 2 famous psychics that really pique my curiosity. And one is that young guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name. That young blonde kid. His name Henry. And the other is Teresa Caputo because I'm Connecticut, even though I live in Boston, I'm New York, Connecticut. I'm not Boston. I'm not Massachusetts, Connecticut. I'm New York, Connecticut. So Teresa Caputo, the Long Island psychic medium or the Long Island medium, I would like to investigate with her because she seems like Tyler Henry. That's his name. Not him. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. So definitely with them. I would love to, and I would love to have a reading by them as well. And as always, Sybil, my friend Sybil Perry is really my favorite psychic medium, and Sue is my favorite medium in training. I just wanted you guys to know that, and I love investigating with you guys too. And you're my favorite celebrities. So Joy asked, I'm on to question 3, part 1. Joy asked, what is my most memorable experience? Well, that's it, Amanda, Tyler Henry. And it's funny that Amanda Sestouli just piped in because I'm just asking a question that Joy asked, that what was my most memorable experience? So, my mother's, mind me if you hear any noise. She's washing her hands in the bathroom. Anyways, but Amanda and Aunt Mary sent in a question, what was the one thing that made me 100% certain believe in the paranormal? And again, back to Joy's question, what's my most memorable experience? Well, I had recently posted this picture on Facebook, and I've certainly posted this before. All right, let me give you the backstory to this picture. This was really cool. This was, oh my God, would this have been 2015, 2014? I think it was 2014. So my Aunt Ruthie passed away, and Aunt Ruthie was a hot ticket. Aunt Ruthie was the one who didn't drink but danced on the tabletops and always did the twist. And when you were with Aunt Ruthie, but it's the same with any of my aunts. When you were with Aunt Ruthie, you knew you were special. It's like when you're with Aunt Kathy, I'm Aunt Kathy's favorite oldest niece. And when I'm with Aunt Jean, I feel like I'm Aunt Jean's favorite niece. And when I was with Aunt Ruthie, I knew I felt very special as well. So anyways, Aunt Ruthie had passed away, so I came down for the funeral. I had some time off, and I stayed with my cousin Amanda, and we were doing the poster board of photos, and I was new to photo editing, and so I had done, like, Aunt Ruthie loved to play cards, so I had superimposed her picture on the Queen of Hearts. And if you look to the left, you see that cup of coffee. That was also a picture, cup of coffee, and to the left of it was a picture of Aunt Ruthie. So I was like learning some Photoshop kind of stuff and utilized that. So we were at Amanda's house. Oh my God, on Queen Street in Bristol. What an apartment this was. And my God, did we have some fun times in that apartment. Me, Amanda, Nate, Greg, Jeremy. Oh my God, some really, really fun times. But I am talking about Aunt Ruthie passing away. So we were in Amanda's apartment. Nate was in his room. Me and Amanda were in like combination, like dining room and living room. And and we had this black poster board out, and the window was covered by very colorful, like almost like a tapestry, but it was like cotton. So the sun kind of still came through it. But anyways, so we had this picture of Aunt Ruthie on the Queen of Hearts, and the picture of Aunt Ruthie, I know you can't tell from here, the picture of Aunt Ruthie was kind of dark. So Amanda and I were lamenting that, boy, we wish this picture were brighter. We wish it were, if only this picture were a little brighter. And we didn't have I don't think we had a printer. I think I printed these in Boston and brought them to Connecticut to her house. So almost not in disgust, but kind of in a kind of a giving up gesture. One or the other of us just kind of tossed the picture down, and that's where it landed. And when that picture landed there, this beam of sunlight came through the window and brightened up that picture of Aunt Ruthie. And that's what we were saying. We wanted to brighten up that picture of Aunt Ruthie, and we think that Aunt Ruthie brightened that picture up. I believed 100% that we had a paranormal experience, and I believe Amanda believes it, and I believe that Nate believes that we believe it, because we were crying for Nate, and we couldn't believe it. Now, I want to say something else about that. For me, Amanda, I don't know about you, but for me, I actually had a very physical experience when we saw that. The word that I use, and some of you have, I don't know, maybe heard me use the word before, maybe not, but I was overcome. And not for a long time, and it wasn't possessed, but I was overcome. All my senses, and it was only for a moment, a split moment in time, but boy, Amanda and I will always share that. But I found this online, and for me, I'm going to show you a visual of what it felt like. I don't know any other way to say this. And if you are watching from your cell phone, doesn't matter what you're watching from, close one eye and put one eye close up. Let's see. And watch this. Sorry about the bell ringing, but and I'm going to play it again. And when I found that video, I was really kind of stunned, because it really explains exactly how I felt. And that's not the only time. I've had other experiences. I remember one time I was on the bus. It was crazy. And I know what happened, and somebody that I lost had visited me, but that is how I felt. I'm going to play that again. Let's see. Oh, there, I can turn the volume down. So that is the and yeah, Michelle, I do remember we had some crazy experiences at a reading with Aunt Ruthie too, after she passed away. But that's how when I saw that video, I was like, that's exactly how I felt, from head to toe, completely overtaken. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but you asked. That was absolutely my most memorable experience. And not only was it my most memorable, but oh my God, I shared it with somebody. There was somebody else to witness it first. Not only did we capture photographic evidence, I don't know how we were thinking to grab the phone and snap a picture, because we were both very emotional over that. And I will forever have peace in my heart knowing that Aunt Ruthie visited us, and I think she approved of what we were doing. So thank you for asking that question, Joy, and thank you for asking that as well, Amanda. That is just a memory that I treasure dearly. It's just fills my heart up. So Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you agree, Amanda. I'm if I'm crazy, I'm not crazy alone. I don't want to say I'm not crazy. If I'm crazy, I'm not crazy alone. Um, but again, to share and have, I feel that that experience was validated. In my head, no doubt, 100%. I've had a lot of other experiences that I'm not sure. Even those orbs, as cool as they were, I'm not sure. But that experience with that picture of Aunt Ruthie, I believe. I believe. So, all right, let's see. So I would say that was really my most profound experience. Another thank you, Jenna. You love my crazy. I love your crazy too. You know that. Jenna is my sister from another mister. We are really she's my spirit animal, I'm her spirit animal. We have a lot in common. Um but let's see. I'm going to go to number 3. To my I wanted to share another experience, a profound experience. And this really made me believe. And this was, gosh, back in 2015, I think it was. So my ex husband had passed away, and in my ex husband's mother's house, there hung a clock, and this clock never worked as long as I knew them. And when he passed away, my ex-husband and his wife took that clock and put it in their kitchen, and the clock never worked there either. And Rob always used to say, if it's the last thing I do, I am going to fix that damn clock. Well, it wasn't the last thing he did, and he died. And my ex-husband, he wasn't a bad guy, but he did have a lot of problems. I guess we all do. And he's missed. He's missed. That's the truth. But anyways, so he passed away, and we were in the kitchen at his wife's house. It was me, my husband Mike, my ex-husband's wife Karen, her sister Debbie, and our boys. And Mike and I were going to stay with the boys, and Karen, his Rob's wife, and her sister were going to go to the funeral home and make plans for Rob's burial. But we were all standing in the kitchen, all 6 of us. I think there were 6 of us. And they were getting ready to leave, and the clock started. And we all looked at the clock because we knew that that clock hadn't worked in 20 years. And Rob always said, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to fix that damn clock. And he never did. But I just, and all of us really, I think we were overtaken. It was a kind of a group experience. And it was just, I think it was just Rob's way of letting us know that he was there. And I think I've had other experiences with him as well. So I think that was a very profound experience. But then you also have to debunk things, right? So after my ex-husband died, and I was sad, I loved him, we had a child together. Right after he died, I was in my kitchen. We lived in Dorchester. And I must have been putting some groceries away or whatever, and I was in my kitchen, and I felt this extreme ice cold on the back of my neck. And it was a cold breeze, and it sent a shiver down my spine. And I looked up in the kitchen and I said, "Oh my God, Rob, is that you?" And I looked around, and the freezer door was open, and the freezer was on, and it was blowing cold air on the back of my neck. But I was more than willing to believe that it was him. And I came right out and asked, "Rob, is that you?" And no, it was not. It was the freezer. So you got to debunk stuff too. But I hope you enjoyed that little story. And Sue, time is eternal. What a cool thing to say about that clock. That's and it makes me think, what was that Christopher Reeve movie? Somewhere in Time. Yeah, that's really kind of a cool thing. That thing was so cool. But anyways, in that freezer story, I hope you enjoyed that as well. So let's see, where am I on my list? 3. All right, 4, 1. Okay, besides JP, we're going to kind of switch gears here. So we talked a little bit about evidence. Besides JP, who are gals? Well, gals are anybody you want them to be. I am the sole proprietor of gals, and I do a lot of stuff by myself, and I also connect with other groups. There, Sue is on board tonight. Sue puts the S in K and S. but I love connecting with other groups and stuff. But gals, Christine is a gal, Kelly is a gal, Sybil is a gal, Evan is a gal. Sorry, Evan. I don't mean any offense. Elaine is definitely a gal. Um, let's see who else. Joan is a gal. Um, did I miss anybody? Nathan, maybe he opened the freezer. I thought about that. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. And Nathan is not a gal. Nathan's part of KNS. But gals are, like I said, I usually do stuff by myself, but I will invite people or I'll host something and do what I call a curated event where I'll book someplace and invite certain people. Um, and that's who gals are. And we like to just go out and investigate and ghost hunt. And also we really, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we enjoy the social aspect of it as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking back to New Year's Eve where we booked a ghost hunt, and I think we just did a lot of kind of catching up, which was totally enjoyable, and I had a great time. But that's my point. There's a social aspect to it as well. Um, let's see. Do I have a question for part 2? How did gals come about? I love acronyms. So when Christine and I first got together, I was calling us cool, couple of old ladies. Um, and I don't want to be an old lady. So I don't know. I came up in one like afternoon. I sat down and dreamed up the whole thing and did the background. And full disclosure, I used AI. But I love my design, but I came up with it in an afternoon. And I feel like I haven't quite developed a brand, but I'm developing a brand. So I do try to be kind at ghost hunts and respectful, and I try to meet people, and I really try to. You're asking who are gals? This is who we are. I try to moderate my page. I every week I comb through my followers and I will block and delete people who do not have. I don't know. It's why I can't crack 1,000 follow is fine with me. I'm 923. That is fine with me. I can't crack 1,000 because there's some bad actors out there. And if somebody looks like they have nefarious motives, I do have to bounce them because we don't want to open anybody up to be hacked through Facebook or anything like that. So that's who gals is. I think we try to have integrity. I think that gals is very interested in learning history and preserving history. We love working with Christy when it comes to preserving history, and Carrie and Sue and Nathan and all of us. I think that inherently all of us who are paranormal investigators have a deep respect and a deep curiosity and interest in history, not just of the locations. We have a deep interest in the history of the foundings of our country, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not making any judgments. We know some of the stories about the Peter Oliver House. Some pretty rough stuff happened there, but we're definitely interested in telling the story, learning the story, preserving the story, sharing the story. I think we all have that in common. It's not just, for me, anyways, it's not just about going and having paranormal experiences, although that sure does sweeten the pot. I'll tell you that. For me, anyways. But also, like back to that Aunt Ruthie thing, having a paranormal experience when you weren't trying to do a ghost hunt, I think that's cool too. Having a paranormal experience when you least expect it. I mean, we were preparing for her funeral, but we didn't have an EMF detector out and we weren't trying to communicate with her. I'm sure we were sharing some fun stories. But we weren't like investigating or doing a seance or nothing like that. So let's see, that was 4-2. Do I have a 4-3? Thank you for bearing with me with my notes. No. All right, so I'm going to go right to number 5. And this question's kind of timely because I said there's a social aspect to everything. Joy asked, do you meet afterwards to discuss your findings? Well, in the business world, we would call that a postmortem, right? After an event, you meet what went well, what went bad, what are we going to do the same, what are we going to do different? But I think in this case of paranormal investigating, we won't call it a postmortem. But do we meet after to discuss our findings? Yes and no. No and yes. I think is the way to answer that. No, we don't. But when we end up seeing each other the next time, and again, I'm referring back to like New Year's Eve, it's a chance to catch up. So that's why I'm looking forward to Sue, March, you know when, you know where. We're gonna go out to eat beforehand. Exactly, Elaine. A debriefing, like you would with any event. If I've done party planning, and you would have a post mortem afterwards. I've done big events when I worked at, and you'd have a post mortem. What went well, what didn't. Give kudos where they belong, and that kind of thing. So I wish we had more time to do that kind of stuff, but paranormal investigating is a hobby, and we all have full-time day jobs and lives that need tending to. So we don't do it as much as we would like to, put it that way. So I think we catch up when we can. So I think that's funny. Let's see, do I have a 5-part one? I do not. Do I have a number 6? Number 6. For me, how do you know you are communicating with a spirit? I think for me, well, this is how I know I'm communicating with a spirit. Being kind of overcome, and also I'm definitely, oh Joy, I'm so glad you're back. And you missed where I answered your question, Joy. You can have to go back and watch it later. But for me, I feel like I know I'm communicating with the spirit certainly when my gadgets cooperate, but when I feel and experience things physically, and also when I share experiences with people as well. That's kind of how I know I'm communicating. I've had some wonderful shared experiences. Let's see, where are we? Number 7. See, I've got 7-2 and 7-1. Oh, this is a 2-parter question. I thought this was interesting. Part 1 came from Sue, and part 2 came from Kelly. Part 1, 7-1. What piece of equipment do you find most valuable? And part 2 from Kelly is, what's your favorite piece of equipment? So, what piece of equipment do I find most valuable? Again, I think myself and my own intuition, and I think some of my friends would probably say the same. I'm my own. I trust myself more than anything. But my favorite actual piece of like electronic equipment or interactive equipment for me is that night vision camera. Nathan, tell me I'm wrong. You can't. It's that night vision camera. And not only the night vision camera, Nathan and I pretty much have the same camera. We have a battery club going. That we swap our batteries with each other. But I think that the microphones, these cameras had really shitty audio, and the people who made these cameras knew it, so they started including a halfway decent microphone with them. So these microphones do catch some really good audio as well. And these cameras have night vision, and it's 4K, and the cameras are less than $100, or roughly in the $100 range. So I think that's my most valuable piece of equipment. And also, I'm so partial to Phasma box. I love my Phasma box. But I think that valuable is me and my own senses. Let's see. Ooh, here's a fun question, and this one came from Kelly, and I look forward to answering this one specifically about Kelly, and I'm sure Kelly had no idea that she was going to be the star of her own question. Kelly asks, do I find certain people connect with certain things? Like, do certain people get EVPs, and certain people more likely to capture video evidence, and certain people more likely to get EMFs? Yeah, I think so. Kelly, being a person who I feel I've done quite a few investigations with Kelly. We've met separately at investigations. We've gone together as gals. Kelly and I have a great rapport, and I just love Kelly's style, and we're very comfortable with each other. But Kelly and I have had some experiences where we've heard some things together. And yep, Spirit Box 7 and headphones, excellent piece of equipment, Nathan. But Kelly and I have some shared experiences where we've heard things with our own ears and also caught it on equipment. And I'm going to share a clip with you. But also, Kelly, and this is one thing, I'm sorry I didn't have time to get a clip of this part of it. But Kelly is an orb magnet. Kelly, you've heard me say that about you before. Kelly, you are one of my dearest ghost hunting peeps, and you know you're an orb magnet, and we've seen it. We've seen it. Oh my God, that chair at the Oliver House, and they're just all around you. If you think that clip of me with 2 was crazy, they're just all around Kelly. But I also think that there's something, it seems to me that this has happened quite a few times when I've been with Kelly, that we've had audio experiences. I'm going to tell a quick story about a Dustin Parry event. Many of you know who Dustin Parry is. He had an event at the Oliver House, and he conducted an experiment in the dining room, and there were probably about 15 of us. And Dustin said, "This is an experiment I want to try, and I want to tell you 2 things about it. One is it usually never works, and 2, it never works the first time. So, all right, so we're going to give it a try, but we're already like, yeah, maybe not." So it was an audio experiment, and Dustin had an EVP, or Dustin had an audio, a digital audio recorder. And he said to all of us in the room, we need to think of a word. We need to come up with a word, a password, a code word, and that we're going to say it once, and then we're going to think of it, and we're going to record. We're going to be quiet and think of it for 1 solid minute, and we're going to record, and we're going to try to imprint that word on the digital recording. And I was very excited to try. I've tried this experiment once or twice. It's never worked. I'd like to try it again. But so anyway, somebody in the room, and there were no plants in the room. We knew the people there. It was Dustin and what was the girl? Chris, I can't remember Chris's. She's another kind of celebrity ghost hunter. Nice girl. But there was a guy in the room. And again, these weren't plants. These are local people from Middleborough, Quincy, Wareham, all that. And somebody came up with the word fire truck. Well, it's a really good word because it's got a lot of syllables and all these, good noises to it. So it would be good and audible on a digital recorder. So we said the word once, and it was the first time we heard it. And we said, all right, that's the word. And Dustin put the digital audio recorder out there and hit record, and we went silent, and 15 of us did our best. I know I tried with all my deepest sincerity to throw the word fire truck out there mentally and imprint it. And in my head, I wrote it in big fireworks, and I screamed it, and I wrote it in big cursive letters, and I saw it in big neon lights. And you have no idea how long 1 minute is until you have to be quiet for 1 minute. It's a long time to be quiet, but we were screaming. I know other people were. I could feel their energy. And after 1 minute, stop. And Dustin played the audio back. And we heard it. And I do not have a clip of that, but we heard, we all gathered round and digitally imprinted on the audio recorder. It was very faint, but we heard fire truck. And we heard it, and I stand by that, and Kelly will vouch for it. And you may believe it and you may not believe it, but I do believe it. I was there. But I'm talking about Kelly and people who attract different things. Like I said, Kelly attracts orbs. I've been to quite a few events with Kelly where we have heard things with our own ears as well. And I think Kelly kind of attracts that kind of thing. When I was talking about Kelly being an orb magnet at the Peter Oliver house, there was also in that room, there was a girl named Emma who was trying to communicate with the spirits, and we had an audio, yes, or something like that. Oops, sorry about that. But but without further ado, I'm not just gonna tell you. I'm gonna share a clip with you, and in this clip, let's see.
In the house.
I'm gonna set this clip up. So the girl that you see on the right, Carrie, we are going to do that experiment. One of these days, it's going to be successful. I'm telling you. But in this clip, that's Steve and Kelly to the right. This is Kelly, my friend. She's a gal that I'm talking about, and definitely, like I said, one of my favorite people to do a paranormal investigation with. And Steve is the caretaker of this house, and Steve we were doing an introduction, and I was filming in night vision, and then Shannon Canty Kimball was there as well, and she's always fun to investigate with, and Emma was there, and what a wild night this was. Crazy night. And Steve owns the house, so he's a host, and he does a tour, and if anybody ever goes there, you really want to do this with Steve, because this house loves Steve. But Steve introduces himself, and you hear the house respond to him. And not only did we capture it on video, we heard it with our own ears. And then later in the clip, Shannon plays back on her audio, and you can hear it. So this is really fun because we all heard it. So enjoy.
Hello, I'm Steve. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I'm in the house, whether it's in the basement or out in the backyard. I work on it every day. Hello, I'm Steve. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I'm in the house, whether it's in the basement or...
Whoa.
Wow.
What was that?
Whoa. I hear this word.
I hope you enjoy.
So I also want to point out, I'm going to put some chapstick on. Excuse me. Thank you. I also want to point out that the spirit box that we had on said house, and we were talking about the house. And the house goes, it's a private home. I'm not going to say what it is, but the house goes by the name, the house of da 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 da. But I would really like to play this for you again if you're interested.
Hello, I'm Steve. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I'm in the house, whether it's in the basement or out in the backyard. I work on it every day. Hello, I'm Steve. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I'm in the house, whether it's in the basement or...
Whoa.
Wow.
What was that?
Whoa. I hear this word.
I hope you enjoy.
So, yeah, that was a really cool experience. So that answers Kelly's question about, do I certain things? Absolutely. And I think that different people have different talents. Like, I think some people, like Kelly does, to me, attracts orbs and audio. I think that like Christy can walk through a property and kind of pick up on different spirits that have been there. And I think that some people are EVP specialists, and I think that you can hone a talent. If I had to, for myself, pick one talent, as much as I love all the gadgets, again, I go back to that night vision camera with the good microphone, because you're going to catch light anomalies, you're going to catch audio. You just can't go wrong, and they're very inexpensive, and a 64 gig or 64 whatever memory card will get you through an entire ghost hunt. Oh, hi Kelly. Did you see Kelly just this is Kelly Dusty? I don't think so, Kelly. If you're saying dusty old bitch, I think that's me. But yeah, orb magnet for sure. And I'm glad that you were able to join and hear that part. So that was probably my favorite question when I was writing that question out and I was thinking about it. It's like, I think that's cool. Kelly asked that question, and I'm going to answer it with Kelly. And I miss you, Kelly. I miss you, and I definitely look forward to doing stuff with you in the future, for sure. So, what question was that? That was question 8. So, let's see. Kelly also asks, is gals available to hire? That's another question that I'm not going to answer yes and no, but I am going to say no and yes. Not available to hire, but we are available for events. If there's any money involved, we would only ask for costs to be covered in that kind of thing. We will come to your private home. We will come to your event. We will host an event at your house. And I know that people in my team of gals, Kelly, Sybil, Christine, Trisha's a gal too, certain other people, I know Sue and Nathan, gals, to the rescue, something's coming up. Sue and Nathan, we did that thing at the tea room. It's like, I need some people, I'd gladly dig into this pool of people and put a group together, and help you preserve history at your house, or help you resolve, contact with your loved ones. I don't want to say resolve issues. That's not my realm, but make contact with through feeling and emotion and electrical gadgets and night vision cameras, which never disappoint. Let's see. Favorite events to attend. Paracons. I've never been to a Paracon. Full disclosure. I've never been to a Paracon. Mark, I'm not sure what you're I think Mark is highly recommending gals. I've been to Mark's estate before and had some crazy experiences at the compound. That is for sure. But this gal has never been to a Paracon, and maybe I aspire to have a table at a Paracon one of these days. I look forward to it, or be a speaker. As you know, if it's haunted, I'm hosting. I have no fear of public speaking, so if you need a speaker for your event, hit me up, man. I definitely love local events. I love charity events. I love celebrity events. I love a Dustin Perry event, an Adam Berry event, a Monique Too Soon event, and anything that has Christy Parrish. Oh, hi, Sybil. Just bringing your name up as being one of my favorite psychics to investigate with. But again, also anything that Christy Parrish hosts, be there or be square. You never want to miss out on anything like that. So Christie's really are my favorite things to do. Let's see. That was, 8. Where are we? Do I have a 9? I see a 10. I don't see a 9. I'm going to go right to number 10. Okay, number 10. My friend Joan asks, am I ever afraid of the entities that I might attract? Thank you, Sybil, from Mark. You know what that's about. Happy Chinese New Year's, you guys. If I'm saying it correctly. Anyways, am I ever afraid of the entities that I attract? And what do I do so that I don't attract something, or so that I don't bring something home? First of all, when I go into some place mentally, I say hello to the house, or wherever I am. I give respect to the house wherever I am, and I open myself, I mentally, to the house. So I say hello and open myself, and I give my respect. When I leave, I say a mental farewell to the house, and I close myself off mentally from whatever is there. But there are some other things that I do as well, and you can call them superstitious, but I believe, as Christy says, believe always. So these are some things that this gal does after a ghost hunt to make sure that nothing bad follows me home. Negative energy attracts negative energy. So I got to do things to make sure that I feel good. So the first thing I'm going to do is shake it off. And that's something I also learned from Christy. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Carrie, post your question, and if I can answer it, I will. But literally walk out of the house, dust yourself off. There's a lot to rituals. Rituals have meaning. Leave something behind. The other thing is chocolate or candy. I learned that one from Adam Berry. Candy releases dopamine. You guys know me. I bring brownies. I bring peanut butter cups. They release things that make us feel really, really good, and it's hard to have a negative attachment when you're feeling really good. So, also, I like Mike and Ike's too. When I'm driving home from Middleborough, eating Mike and Ike's on Route 24, that's me. But I think that candy, because it does make you feel so good, uh, keeps things from attaching. And also, I think that humor, when I drive home from many, many events, I listen to a comedy playlist, and there's two reasons. One is because the humor is going to make me laugh and feel good. But the other thing is, I heard one time that it is physically impossible to fall asleep while you're laughing, and I drive late at night. So, to absolutely chocolate, Nathan, chocolate. But it's impossible to fall asleep when you're laughing. So I drive late at night when I do ghost hunts. So I listen to humor, and some of it is very adult humor and is questionable for some audiences. Ralphie May. If you have not seen Ralphie May and you like adult humor, see Ralphie May. If you're easily offended, do not watch Ralphie May. I think that Mateo Lane is hysterical, and who else? Mike E. Winfield. I hope y'all watching Mike E. Winfield. Then there's that kid Shane Smith, the one whose mother is a paranormal investigator. If you didn't see that clip, look it up. It's hysterical. It's like what's that expression? I resemble that remark. So I highly recommend that. But those are some things that I do personally to keep anything negative from attaching and following me home. And I don't feel that anything's followed me home thus far. I don't feel I've had any negative attachments or anything like that. So I don't know if I'm fortunate or it just doesn't happen because of the things that I do. So, geez, I've been talking for an hour, so I'm gonna get through some things. I do want to talk a little bit about some evidence. Before I do, Carrie, I'm gonna answer Carrie's question because she didn't get a chance to send it, and I think I did such a potpourri of everybody's questions. Carrie says, "Am I finding fulfillment in starting my live stream?" Well, hell to the yes, and it's me talking about me. No, not always. You know that. I am doing some research on history, but I'm very fulfilled by doing this. So fulfilled that I'm spending money on the software every month. I feel like I'm getting better. I was able to set up an impromptu studio in my bedroom at my mother's house. A couple weeks ago, I had some technical difficulties. And I rolled with it. So I am getting fulfillment in it, and I really enjoy the technical aspect of the live streams as well. Like I said, I've gotten better. Last week was my first green screen. I think some of you really enjoyed that. I know I did, and I think I did a good job. I didn't have a lot of like pixelating and stuff. So thanks again for asking, Carrie. I get a lot of fulfillment from my live streams, not just from talking about paranormal, but again, I enjoy the technical aspect. And my friend Joan Sear will tell you I've taken an interest in television production and technique for pretty much since I was 14, 15 years old, and we took those classes in high school. And Mark, I took Al Jones's speech class, and I never forgot that. And I think that the things that I learned in that class are coming back to me. After every live stream, and I'll do it tonight too, I will get in bed and I will watch the entire thing and I will critique it and I will try and find ways that I can improve next time. I think you'll find that I've drastically reduced my use of the word and so, and I still use them, but I'm getting better at it and I'm enjoying getting better at it. I've always wanted to be a broadcaster. Yes, Al Jones, an absolute favorite, an absolute favorite. I had him for speech. I had him for 2 years for English as well, but he really made an impression on me in speech class. Because here I am, 44, 46 years later and still remembering that shit. So what an impression. So I want to jump over here to something that Kelly said. We were talking about attachments, and Kelly said that she had taken a child attachment home from Middleborough event. She needed to have a ritual. So now she's got a ritual. Remember I said rites, rituals. There's a lot to that. She does a ritual when she leaves someplace. So what works for you. So much of this is personal belief. I think that those kind of things are personal belief as well. What works for you? I named some things that worked for me. Kelly named something that worked for her. And Joan, Mr. Ferris, television production and technique was the name of that class. And yeah, loved that one too. That was back in the day when video cameras had big cassettes in them. But so I'm getting a lot of fulfillment personally on many, many levels, and certainly not the least of which is just that you guys are showing me so much love. I've got 15 people watching right now. So many comments that I haven't had a chance to respond to, and I do apologize about that because I am my own moderator as well. I'm trying to talk. It's kind of hard to talk and type at the same time. So, but yeah, thanks for that question, Carrie. A lot of fulfillment. And Carrie, as you know more than anybody, I do have some irons in the fire. Please stay tuned. I know I've been saying that since before Christmas, before the new year. I have some really, really exciting news about gals coming up that I'm going to be announcing, not just about my live stream, but about some other things that I'm going to be doing as well. And I'm so excited that you're all on this journey with me. And I always used to think that that was such a corny thing to say, but I really mean it. My goodness, have I made some wonderful friends. Very exciting new stage in my life. Thanks again for that question, Carrie. That meant a lot. Let's see. So I'm going to hit up some of my other favorite evidence, and you have seen this and some of you have not. This is a picture at the Weymouth Teen Center, and if you look in this picture, you see 4 people. There's the lady to the left in the gray hoodie with the bun on top of her head. And then you see Nathan in the middle with the black t-shirt, and he's looking to his left. And then you see a blonde guy to Nathan's left leaning forward. And then to the right, you see Christy standing up with her back to the wall. She has a plaid shirt on, sneakers, and blue jeans. The only thing that I did to this photo was I slowed the shutter speed. It was very, very dark in the room. There was a small light source above Nathan's head. It was not an exit sign or something like that. I don't know. It may have been, I don't know, like a smoke detector light or something like that. But I slowed the shutter speed down so that in the dark it would let in the maximum amount of light and produce a photograph. So again, you do see all 4 people in that picture. There's no doubt about it. But I want you to look here. So y'all see that blue arrow, and you see it's pointing to the blonde guy that's leaning forward. That blonde guy wasn't there. And that's not Nathan. And you can see what Nathan looks like. And you see Nathan has on a black t-shirt. And you see that Nathan doesn't have a fade cut or 2 different hair colors. And you see that the guy to Nathan's right has a fade cut or 2 different hair colors. And he's wearing a light colored shirt. And you see hands interacting. And this is, to me, one of the most amazing piece of evidence that I have ever captured. Let me see if I can get them up side by side. I'm not sure if I can. Let's see. No, I can't. I apologize. So I just got to show you that again. That person that the arrow is pointing to just isn't there. And that's at the Weymouth Teen Center. And I thought it was one person. And Christy said it was a cop named Joe, and she's seen his picture. And that is just one of my absolute favorite pieces of evidence. So let's see. There we are. And I want to throw up Mark's comment here. Al Jones caught him and Schmedley. Oh my God, rest in peace, Schmedley. Kid we went to school with. Well, my maiden name was Silibert, so Alan Coggins and I were in homeroom together for 4 years. And I just got to say, rest in peace, Schmedley. And that figures that, Mark, that you got in trouble with Schmedley. And Schmedley was a musician, and Mark's a musician, and I'm just not surprised at that at all. And I'm not surprised that your quote-unquote punishment was to play for the class. Rest in peace, Schmedley. He just passed away this week. Thanks for bringing him up. And Nathan has many personalities, and we love them all. But I don't think that was one of yours. Yeah, one of my absolute favorite pieces of evidence is that picture. And then, so I'm going to share my last piece of evidence, and then I am going to wind things up because I've been going for over an hour, and you guys have been the best audience ever. I do want to say, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night if you're not doing anything. I am rerunning tomorrow night at 5:30. I have plans. I have a ghost hunt. This was a paranormal road trip. So tomorrow night I have scheduled at 5:30. I'm rerunning last Sunday morning coffee hour, our Valentine's special where we interviewed our good friends Sue and Nathan and Sybil and Evan. So if you didn't catch it last Sunday, make sure you catch it tomorrow night at 5:30. I won't be home, but the live stream will be live streaming. I'm getting fancy at this. Most of the time I don't pre-record stuff. I do prefer the live, but I do want to keep consistent on those Saturday nights. So thank you all for that. So let's see. All right, last. Oh, my favorite haunted location to visit, Peter Oliver House. And I'm going soon. Can't wait. Just got tickets. And also a few other places as well. But all right. Have I ever seen an apparition with my bare eyes, plain eyes? No, I have seen some really cool things on video. But I want to share with you guys my absolute hands down most proudest piece of evidence that when I reviewed this piece of evidence, I said, that's it. I can retire. I don't ever have to do paranormal investigating again because I have reached the holy grail of paranormal investigating. So in this clip, there, I paused it. In this clip, we're at the Lee Mansion in Marblehead, Massachusetts. What a stunning building this was, and what an amazing night this was. First thing that I have to say was 2 different video cameras, and both of them had complete audio failure. I didn't capture any audio at all. And Nathan, again, tell me I'm wrong. Did our batteries not die frequently in our cameras there? They sure did. There's also some great light anomalies in that place. And Sue, I don't know if you remember, we were in that one room and there was that staircase. And I remember standing at that staircase and the 2 of us could hear whispering up those stairs. And that was, excuse me, that was really cool. But, and there's paintings everywhere in this house. And anyways, it's a mansion in Marblehead, Massachusetts, where there's lots of money. You think there's money in Litchfield? There's money in Marblehead. And it was afterwards, it was the next day or a couple days, I had downloaded my footage, and anybody who knows you have to go through things frame by frame over and over again. Sometimes you have to slow the footage down, sometimes you have to brighten the footage, sometimes you have to put a filter on it. Yes, it was a very active place, and I want to share with you what I captured at the Lee Mansion in Marblehead, Massachusetts, and then we'll have a little chat about it. I don't know what you all saw, but I saw not one, but 2 shadow figures pass in front of my camera. This clip has been slowed down. There's 100% guarantee that these are not human beings. The other thing is I have slowed this clip down very, very much so that we could see these. And again, that's how you review it. It's frame by frame. You have to slow it down. At full speed, they're both nearly undetectable. So I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to tell you, there goes the first one and there goes the second one. And the funny thing is the first one is good and the second one I feel is even better. To me, the second one, you really get a sense of a head and a body shape. So here goes. One, two. Let's see if I can freeze frame. the second one. It's so quick. So I can't even freeze it, but and that is for me the best piece of evidence that I've ever caught. And yes, Mark, whoa, number 2, because again, I just you see in the second one, there is a human form. Carrie, that corner felt sinister. First one, second one. And again, yeah, I detect a human shape in both of them, but especially that second one. And when you're watching that at regular speed, you barely caught it. I mean, you have to be like watching everything. It's really where, for me, it's where my attention deficit ADD, comes in really handy, that I can sit and watch minute things of video and hyper focused for hours at a time. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So that is Q&A with gals. Friday free for all. Anything goes. Nathan, yeah, I gotta throw that up. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Best piece of evidence I ever captured was with, and you were there, Nathan, that night, and Sue and Christy, a small group of us, what I would call a pro night. Very, very fun. And the evidence is there. So again, that is Gals Friday night free for all, Q&A with gals. I am so grateful for all the questions that you sent in. I appreciate everybody's participations. I think we had a solid viewership tonight of between like 13 and 15 people throughout the whole night. That is great. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Carrie. I just got to bounce this up there. Carrie said amazing evidence. I'm really pleased to share my evidence with you, and I have so much more. So I look forward to sharing more evidence. And I have a lot of events coming up, so there'll be definitely more stuff to more evidence to show. So thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Sue. But again, I'm gonna give one more shout out to all the folks who sent in questions, and I think I got to everybody's questions, a little bit of everybody's. Michigas, Christine Pizzelli, OG, Lisa Aubie, OG, Sue and Nathan. Sue puts the S in K and S, and Kelly, who is one of my favorite gals. Joy, who I am just really enjoying our burgeoning friendship. Joy, I'm enjoying getting to know you. Joan, who's an old friend, because Joan and I go back to 1975, and also to Mr. Ferris's television production and technique class. Not only that, Joan and I are going to a ghost hunt tomorrow night at the Twisted Vine restaurant in Derby, Connecticut, dinner included, with Wraith Chasers. So we're really excited about that. And also thanks to Aunt Mary and Amanda. And Amanda, thanks for letting me share your story. And Amanda, also thank you for validating the stuff that I said about what happened that night when we were getting ready for Aunt Ruthie's wake. So Aunt Mary and Amanda. And as always, thank you to Michelle. And thank you to my friend Lynn, the skeptic, who turns out isn't really a skeptic, but believes just as much as we do, but just, I don't think, wanted to admit it to anybody. So, thank you, Joy. I'm planning on having fun. I always have fun when I go out with my friend Joan. That's why we've been hanging out together since 1975. Right, Joan? If it weren't fun, I don't think we would be doing it, right? So, guys, thank you very much. And thanks for bearing with my here deep in the heart of the foothills of the Berkshires in Litchfield County, from the big mattress from Mom's house. I thank you all for watching now. I thank you if you watch at a later time. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Thank you again. Have a good night. Bye-bye.